Every woman has a story. Each of our journeys, complete with obstacles, options, arrivals, departures, right moves, wrong turns, and adventures in uncharted territory, can offer guidance and inspiration to others. As my daughters start setting out on their own voyages, I realized I wanted to give them that kind of transformative gift. The realization that there are women all around them who have been there, done that, gone mildly or wildly off course, fallen down, gotten up, and dragged themselves across the finish line, only to realize that the endings are also the beginnings. What would you tell your best friend's daughter? We asked, and the answers just kept coming.
I think Dani Grant is a force of nature. I mean, you never ever want to underestimate an idea by Dani Grant. So I walked down to the kitchen in my bathrobe and Dani said, I have this idea. Let me tell you about it.
Just think about it and tell me what you think about it later. So it's a book project with a video component. It's about women. It's the temporary title is The Road She's Traveled. Okay? So it's a compilation of essays from simple everyday women that go through their career path, the things that the struggles, the challenges, their highs, their lows.
And I was confused, I think, when I first heard it. I'm like, wait, what are you trying to do?
So why did I want this book to be created? Because I didn't really write this book. The book wrote itself. But it came from a conversation I had with women that I know and respect who are great friends of mine who have incredibly interesting career paths.
All I know is I want to have that same feeling that I had when I'm sitting around the kitchen table having coffee with women.
I think when people read the book, they're going to recognize there are several themes that occur in a lot of the stories. You know, understanding that we all are sharing a lot of the same issues and a lot of the same obstacles and fears and emotions empowers us to be able to tackle things. Breaking it down, starting it over, and starting anew is a theme that I see.
I was born in San Salvador, El Salvador. What more can I do for our linguistically and culturally diverse students? I think I see opportunity in everything. I teach in the afternoon. I teach a Spanish literacy class to 8th grade students. Totally awesome. I love those kids. It keeps life real, right? It keeps things in perspective. My job is to make them proud of who they are, inform them of the diversity that exists amongst Latin Americans. I think the world is our oyster, and if you have the opportunity to go out and do something new, meet new people and learn about something or someone that is different from yourself, do it. You know, that's what makes us grow, that's what makes us connect and understand the world we live in. Every day is a new beginning.
The next story that I kind of put together was a story about being a woman in business and kind of talking about the different levels of how I got through being perceived. I think it's going to be really important for women and men to read The Road She's Traveled. You're going to be able to learn about how women have broken through barriers. And I think there's not enough stories about women who've broken through barriers, regardless of what they have gone through, and come out the other side and been better, learned more through that process. So I feel like people should read those stories and learn.
One of the things that I was very happily surprised by was the camaraderie and the connections that all the women who were involved in this made, starting from the very first meeting with the writers. The writers came together. They were excited to have a project to do that had to do with women and career paths and all that, but more so they were excited to have a group of 7 women who are all writers that were sitting down at a table talking and sharing and collaborating. And it wasn't just a professional sharing, it was a personal sharing. This is a passion play for me and Julie in terms of trying to deliver a message to today's women about what it means to be a woman in the workforce. I think what we should do is get stories from a bunch of everyday women who talk about this path that they took and the obstacles that they ran into and how they moved through them, around them, over them, under them to get where they are. The most rewarding thing has been the joy that I've seen in the women who are participating.
I'm hopefully proud of the fact that I'm raising 3 really strong, independent girls who I've been very open and transparent and honest with kind of all along the way, and that will leave them with an understanding that they can do anything, that it won't always be easy, but that they will be able to overcome whatever that might be with hard work and dedication.
And when we all got together and talked about this process, I'll never forget those moments. One of the things that I've been discovering through this project, as we're kind of coming over like the middle of the hump of the project here, I think, is that the process of going through this story and the experience that we're having with our significant others and our children and our histories has been probably the biggest gift for this project for me so far.
I was not prepared for how quickly a bunch of strangers came together and got really vulnerable with each other and were able to share some pretty intense things. But it's been amazing to hear what you've been able to share with one another without most of the time knowing each other that well.
So my name is Laurel Baltic. My degree in college was creative writing, so my path has been meandering. That was something that really resonated to me about your story, is that there are so many chapters that don't at the time necessarily feel like they fit, but when you look back at your life, it's okay, I understand how I got here and here and here, and so writing has always been kind of a central piece for me.
I was honored to be considered to have a story worthy of sharing, and so I'm excited to see all these women working together on this. It's been amazing. My daughter, she's graduating college this year, and she's so nervous about getting it right, getting it exactly right. And the reality is, your life is lived in chapters, and some chapters are related and some really aren't, but they're your life.
Becky, who wrote my story, is a friend of mine, so she knew some of my story, but not all my story. It was great, and it was cathartic, it was therapeutic. It got into some real deep stuff that I didn't know I needed to kind of dredge back up again, and it was fantastic. I'm also the mother of a 28-year-old. I think just getting stories out there and having young women understand that it's not a straight path, right? It is such a winding, curving road that we all take to get to where we get to, and will continue for the rest of my life. I've taken my nieces and I've paid it forward, and so it was so fun to use the sort of essence of what this book wants to accomplish and share it personally. And same thing, I shared it with my mom, and she also cried because she also saw the intergenerational effects of the story. So it's been this incredible process.
That's the number one question. What would I tell my best friend's daughter? That she should never underestimate herself, but also, to be flexible and allow the universe to change course. Even hearing about the men involved in these stories has been really wonderful.
I think it's going to be an opportunity for people to recognize that we all have challenges. We all kind of dig through the dirt on occasion, and that we should feel comfortable knowing that we're not alone. We're going to see like the depths of lives that have happened and the stories that go into that.
Like, that's been something that's been completely rewarding, is seeing some of the men step up and support and be involved in this process with the writers and the storytellers. My biggest thing with my daughters is trying to provide them with a really strong, healthy foundation, you know, trying to get rid of some of the legacy issues that I was brought up with and provide them with like a fresh, clean opportunity, and to feel so much love that they never had to be worried about that and they could just look forward and move forward.
My best friend is my sister. Look at what she's done and how she's achieved so many things with many, many obstacles thrown her way.
How many times have you found yourself in a place where you feel isolated and you pick up your head and realize that you haven't spent any time with your sister or your girlfriends, and you feel, you know, empty and you don't feel the strength? And then when you get the girls together, the power that comes from that connection is intense, and it is absolutely magical medicine. That was what it was about, you know? And I think we all tend to forget in our busy lives how much connection heals us as women and how much connection, you know, gets us to the next spot.
I have learned that with Dani Grant, you just get on the ride, and then you will find out that there will be a conclusion that is phenomenal.
We all, you know, shared tears, we all shared laughter. As painful as it is, it's so cathartic to put it out on paper and share it with people. And I cannot wait for younger women to read these stories, you know. I want to normalize the career path of women. We kind of set out on this path and we never know if we're going to turn or go straight or go up or go down, whatever. You know, we don't have that end destination when we start. So what is the road she's traveled? For you, it's one thing. For you, it's another.